All right, let's go over the study guide together. And if you need to, you can hit pause and look at a problem again. Or if you still don't understand something, come find me, come into iPass. All right, number one. First thing is anything to the 0 power is 1. And then I'm going to take that d to the negative 6. And I'm going to move it down into the denominator. When that happens, I'm going to be left with 3 over d to the 6. All right, on number 2, just going to go ahead and draw my fraction bar. The 6 has to move down because it's a negative exponent. The r to the 9th is moving down. The t becomes 1. So there is my dealt with everything up here. Now let's look at the bottom. 9, well 9 is going to stay. And that s to the 4, and I'm using a cursive s, not well, but it's a cursive s, is going to stay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have s to the 4th, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply that and get 54 r to the 9, which is going to be B. On number 3, that's multiplication, so you add your exponents and you get b to the negative 3, which is 1 over b cubed. On number 4, that's a power of a power, so you want to multiply your exponents. 2 times 9 is 18. On number 5, you're going to multiply your exponents. 9 times negative 8 is negative 72. Again, we don't like negative exponents, so that's going to become 1 over x to the 72. On number 6, I'm going to simplify that first. That is division, which means we subtract our exponents. So 5 minus 3 is 2. That should be a times right there, a dot. And then we're multiplying, so you want to add your exponents. M to the 8. Number 7. 7 is a power of a power. Even though it's not written, that negative 4 has an exponent of 1. So it's going to be negative 4 to the 6, s to the 6. That exponent needs to have everything applied to it. Well, I'd use my calculator to figure out what negative 4 to the 6 is. It is 4,096. And we still have that s to the 6. On number 8, you take and apply the negative 2 to everything on the inside of those parentheses. And again, we can't have negative exponents. So it's going to be 1 over 3 squared is going to be 9. On number 9, I'm going to take that negative 3 and apply it. So it's going to be negative 6 to the negative 3. Q to the negative 9. And again, we don't like those negative exponents, so they need to change the location. And when they change the location, they become positive. So negative 6 cubed, q to the 9. And I would use my calculator to figure out what negative 6 cubed is. It's negative 216. So the answer to number 9 is D. Number 10, you're going to have to apply everything on the outside, or that exponent on the outside to everything on the inside. So it's going to be negative 8 to the negative 3rd, x to the negative 15, 9 to the negative 3. Well, we're going to have to flip everything. because we have nothing but negative exponents. So whatever's on top goes to the bottom, whatever's on the bottom goes to the top. So you're going to have to figure out 9 cubed, and then negative 8 cubed, x to the 15. I would use your calculator to help those really large numbers. The answer to that is D. Number 11, you're going to apply that power on the outside to everything on the inside. 7 to the 4, n to the 12, 5 to the 4. Use your calculator to help you out. 2,401 n to the 12th all over 625. All right, on here, this is going to be calculator work. So let's see if we can bring up our calculator. So on here, if I wanted to do that first one, I'd hit my parentheses, 1024, make that negative, close my parentheses, and the way that I'm going to do that power is that x to the y, and it brings it up as a little caret. Some of your calculators probably have a caret, and it's going to be 6 divided by 5. Remember, a fraction is the same as dividing. 6 divided by 5, and it's writing everything up there. And just hit your equal sign, and you get 4,096. Let's do another one. Let's do 64 raised to the 4/3. 4 divided by 3, close your parentheses, equals 256. All right. The answers on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and give them to you, and you can mess around with your calculator. E, D, B, C, A. The cube root of 125, you're looking for 3 numbers that multiply to each other. They give you 125. It's 5. 5 times 5 times 5. 15, I'd put that in the calculator. On 16, if you needed to, you could also do a factor tree. On 17, that's just going to be multiplying because it says times away. That's the key word right there. So 10 to the 7th times 10 to the 5th. And you get 10 to the 12th. On 18, I think I told you this in class, they're trying to confuse you with a picture that looks fairly in-depth. It's not. It's just a matter of plugging things into that formula. We're looking for the radius. They tell us the volume is 270. They tell us to use 3.14. And then they tell us that the height is 7. So figure all that out. Use your calculator and then raise it to the 1/2. And it's not going to come out exact, but it's about 6. On number 19, you are adding 5 to your y's each time. So if you're adding the same amount each time, it's linear. On 20, you're going from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. You are multiplying by 2. If you're multiplying each time, it's exponential. On 21, you're going from 0.5 to 2.5 to 12.5 to 62.5. You're multiplying by 5. That is going to be exponential. All right, on number 22, that 4, it's greater than 1, so that is going to be a growth. and you want to evaluate that, 4 to the 3 is 64. 0.2, that's between 0 and 1, so that's going to be decay. And then you'd use your calculator, 0.2 raised to the negative 4, that's going to be 625. On 24, that graph as I speak represents growth because it is increasing at a very high rate. And then they're asking the number of attendings after 5 years. Well, there's 5. So you go straight up until you run into the graph and go over. That's going to be 160. There might be a little bit of error on that one just based on how you draw your line, and I'll take that into consideration. All right, 25. The square root of 4 is 2. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, I have x to the 6. What two numbers add up to give me 6? Well, it's 3. Here, I've got 64. The square root of that is 8. And then I have a w. What two numbers add up to give me 12? 6. So that's going to be my answer there. All right, I went through this pretty quickly. If you have any questions, stop by my room or come into iPass. Adios.